Jordan. Jordan, officially the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, is an Arab country in Western Asia, on the east bank of the Jordan River. Jordan is bordered by Saudi Arabia to the south and the east, Iraq to the northeast, Syria to the north and Israel and Palestine to the west. The Dead Sea is located along its western borders and the country has a 26-kilometer (16 miles) coastline on the Red Sea in its extreme southwest. Jordan is strategically located at the crossroads of Asia, Africa, and Europe. The capital, Amman, is Jordan's most populous city as well as the country's economic, political and cultural center. What is now Jordan has been inhabited by humans since the Paleolithic period. 3 stable kingdoms emerged there at the end of the Bronze Age: Ammon, Moab and Edom. Later rulers include the Nabataean Kingdom, the Roman Empire, and the Ottoman Empire. After the Great Arab Revolt against the Ottomans in 1916 during World War I, the Ottoman Empire was partitioned by Britain and France. The Emirate of Transjordan was established in 1921 by the Hashemite, then Emir, Abdullah I, and the emirate became a British protectorate. In 1946, Jordan became an independent state officially known as the Hashemite Kingdom of Transjordan, but was renamed in 1949 to the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan after the country captured the West Bank during the 1948 Arab-Israeli War and annexed it until it was lost to Israel in 1967. Jordan renounced its claim to the territory in 1988, and became one of 2 Arab states to sign a peace treaty with Israel in 1994. Jordan is a founding member of the Arab League and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. The sovereign state is a constitutional monarchy, but the king holds wide executive and legislative powers. Jordan is a relatively small, semi-arid, almost landlocked country with an area of 89,342 square kilometers, 34,495 square miles, and a population numbering 10 million, making it the 11th most populous Arab country. Sunni Islam, practiced by around 95% of the population, is the dominant religion and coexists with an indigenous Christian minority. Jordan has been repeatedly referred to as an oasis of stability in a turbulent region. It has been mostly unscathed by the violence that swept the region following the Arab Spring in 2010. From as early as 1948, Jordan has accepted refugees from multiple neighboring countries in conflict. An estimated 2.1 million Palestinian and 1.4 million Syrian refugees are present in Jordan as of a 2015 census. The kingdom is also a refuge to thousands of Iraqi Christians fleeing persecution by ISIL. While Jordan continues to accept refugees, the recent large influx from Syria placed substantial strain on national resources and infrastructure. Jordan is classified as a country of high human development with an upper-middle income economy. The Jordanian economy, one of the smallest economies in the region, is attractive to foreign investors based upon a skilled workforce. The country is a major tourist destination, also attracting medical tourism due to its well-developed health sector. Nonetheless, a lack of natural resources, large flow of refugees and regional turmoil have hampered economic growth. Etymology of Jordan. Jordan takes its name from the Jordan River which forms much of the country's northwestern border. While several theories for the origin of the river's name have been proposed, it is most plausible that it derives from the Semitic word Yared, meaning the descender, reflecting the river's declivity. Much of the area that makes up modern Jordan was historically called Transjordan, meaning across the Jordan, used to denote the lands east of the river. The Old Testament refers to the area as the other side of the Jordan. Early Arab chronicles referred to the river as Al-Urdun, corresponding to the Semitic Yarden. Jund al-Urdun was a military district around the river in the early Islamic era. Later, during the Crusades at the beginning of the second millennium, a lordship was established in the area under the name of Ultra Jordan. History of Jordan. The oldest evidence of hominid habitation in Jordan dates back at least 200,000 years. Jordan is rich in Paleolithic, up to 20,000 years ago, remains due to its location within the Levant where expansions of hominids out of Africa converged. Past lakeshore environments attracted different hominids, and several remains of tools have been found from this period. The world's oldest evidence of bread making was found in a 14,500 years old Natufian site in Jordan's northeastern desert. The transition from hunter-gatherer to establishing populous agricultural villages occurred during the Neolithic period 10,000 to 4,500 BC. Ain Ghazal, one such village located in today's eastern Amman, is one of the largest known prehistoric settlements in the Near East. Dozens of plaster statues of the human form dating to 7250 BC or earlier were uncovered there, and they are among the oldest ever found. Other than the usual Chalcolithic 4500–3600 BC villages such as Tulailak Ghasal in the Jordan Valley, a series of circular stone enclosures in the eastern basalt desert whose purpose remains uncertain, have baffled archaeologists. Geography of Jordan. Jordan sits strategically at the crossroads of the continents of Asia, Africa, and Europe, in the Levant area of the Fertile Crescent, a cradle of civilization. It is 89,341 square kilometers, 34,495 square miles large, and 400 kilometers, 250 miles long between its northernmost and southernmost points, Qais and Aqaba respectively. The kingdom lies between 29 degrees and 34 degrees north, and 34 degrees and 40 degrees east. The east is an arid plateau irrigated by oases and seasonal water streams. Major cities are overwhelmingly located in the northwestern part of the kingdom due to its fertile soils and relatively abundant rainfall. These include Irbid, Jerash, and Zarqa in the northwest, the capital Amman and Al-Salt in the central west, and Madaba, Al-Karak, and Aqaba in the southwest. Major towns in the eastern part of the country are the oasis towns of Azraq and Ruwaysht. In the west, a highland area of arable land and Mediterranean evergreen forestry drops suddenly into the Jordan Rift Valley. The Rift Valley contains the Jordan River and the Dead Sea, which separates Jordan from Israel. Jordan has a 26 kilometers (16 miles) shoreline on the Gulf of Aqaba in the Red Sea but is otherwise landlocked. The Yarmouk River, an eastern tributary of the Jordan, forms part of the boundary between Jordan and Syria, including the occupied Golan Heights to the north. The other boundaries are formed by several international and local agreements and do not follow well-defined natural features. The highest point is Jabal al-Dami, at 1,854 meters (6,083 feet) above sea level, while the lowest is the Dead Sea (-420 meters (-1,378 feet), the lowest land point on Earth. Politics and government of Jordan. Jordan is a unitary state under a constitutional monarchy. Jordan's constitution, adopted in 1952 and amended a number of times since, is the legal framework that governs the monarch, government, bicameral legislature, and judiciary. The king retains wide executive and legislative powers from the government and parliament. The king exercises his powers through the government that he appoints for a 4-year term, which is responsible before the parliament that is made up of 2 chambers, the Senate and the House of Representatives. The judiciary is independent according to the constitution. The king is the head of state and commander-in-chief of the army. He can declare war and peace, ratify laws and treaties, convene and close legislative sessions, call and postpone elections, dismiss the government and dissolve the parliament. The appointed government can also be dismissed through a majority vote of no confidence by the elected House of Representatives. After a bill is proposed by the government, it must be approved by the House of Representatives, then the Senate, and becomes law after being ratified by the king. A royal veto on legislation can be overridden by a 2/3 vote in a joint session of both houses. The parliament also has the right of interpellation. The 65 members of the upper Senate are directly appointed by the king. The constitution mandates that they be veteran politicians, judges, and generals who previously served in the government or in the House of Representatives. The 130 members of the lower House of Representatives are elected through party list proportional representation in 23 constituencies for a 4-year term. Minimum quotas exist in the House of Representatives for women, 15 seats, though they won 20 seats in the 2016 election, Christians 9 seats, and Circassians and Chechens 3 seats. Courts are divided into 3 categories: civil, religious, and special. The civil courts deal with civil and criminal matters, including cases brought against the government. The civil courts include magistrate courts, courts of first instance, courts of appeal, high administrative courts which hear cases relating to administrative matters, and the Constitutional Court which was set up in 2012 in order to hear cases regarding the constitutionality of laws. Although Islam is the state religion, the constitution preserves religious and personal freedoms. Religious law only extends to matters of personal status such as divorce and inheritance in religious courts and is partially based on Islamic Sharia law. The special court deals with cases forwarded by the civil one. Military of Jordan. The first organized army in Jordan was established on the 22nd of October 1920, and was named the Arab Legion. The legion grew from 150 men in 1920 to 8,000 in 1946. Jordan's capture of the West Bank during the 1948 Arab-Israeli War proved that the Arab Legion, known today as the Jordan Armed Forces, was the most effective among the Arab troops involved in the war. The Royal Jordanian Army, which boasts around 110,000 personnel, is considered to be among the most professional in the region, due to being particularly well trained and organized. The Jordanian military enjoys strong support and aid from the United States, the United Kingdom and France. This is due to Jordan's critical position in the Middle East. The development of special operations forces has been particularly significant, enhancing the capability of the military to react rapidly to threats to homeland security, as well as training special forces from the region and beyond. Jordan provides extensive training to the security forces of several Arab countries. There are about 50,000 Jordanian troops working with the United Nations in peacekeeping missions across the world. Jordan ranks third internationally in participation in UN peacekeeping missions, with one of the highest levels of peacekeeping troop contributions of all UN member states. Jordan has dispatched several field hospitals to conflict zones and areas affected by natural disasters across the region. Economy of Jordan. Jordan is classified by the World Bank as an upper-middle-income country. However, approximately 14.4% of the population lives below the national poverty line on a long-term basis, as of 2010, while almost a third fell below the national poverty line during some time of the year, known as transient poverty. The economy, which has a GDP of $39.453 billion as of 2016, grew at an average rate of 8% per annum between 2004 and 2008, and around 2.6% 2010 onwards. GDP per capita rose by 351% in the 1970s, declined 30% in the 1980s, and rose 36% in the 1990s, currently $9,406 per capita by purchasing power parity. The Jordanian economy is one of the smallest economies in the region, and the country's populace suffers from relatively high rates of unemployment and poverty. Jordan's economy is relatively well diversified. Trade and finance combined account for nearly one-third of GDP, transportation and communication, public utilities, and construction account for one-fifth, and mining and manufacturing constitute nearly another fifth. Net official development assistance to Jordan in 2009 totaled $761 million United States dollars. According to the government, approximately two-thirds of this was allocated as grants, of which half was direct budget support. The official currency is the Jordanian dinar, which is pegged to the IMF's special drawing rights (SDRs), equivalent to an exchange rate of $1 United States dollar equals 0.709 dinar, or approximately 1 dinar equals $1.41044. In 2000, Jordan joined the World Trade Organization and signed the Jordan-United States Free Trade Agreement, thus becoming the first Arab country to establish a free trade agreement with the United States. Jordan enjoys advanced status with the EU, which has facilitated greater access to export to European markets. Due to slow domestic growth, high energy and food subsidies and a bloated public sector workforce, Jordan usually runs annual budget deficits. Tourism in Jordan. The tourism sector is considered a cornerstone of the economy and is a large source of employment, hard currency, and economic growth. In 2010, there were 8 million visitors to Jordan. The majority of tourists coming to Jordan are from European and Arab countries. The tourism sector in Jordan has been severely affected by regional turbulence. The most recent blow to the tourism sector was caused by the Arab Spring, which scared off tourists from the entire region. Jordan experienced a 70% decrease in the number of tourists from 2010 to 2016. Tourist numbers started to recover as of 2017. According to the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, Jordan is home to around 100,000 archaeological and tourist sites. Some very well-preserved historical cities include Petra and Jerash, the former being Jordan's most popular tourist attraction and an icon of the kingdom. Jordan is part of the Holy Land and has several biblical attractions that attract pilgrimage activities. Biblical sites include Al-Matas, a traditional location for the baptism of Jesus, Mount Nebo, ar-Rasas, Madaba, and Machaerus. Islamic sites include shrines of the Prophet Muhammad's companions such as Abd Allah ibn Rawaha, Zayd ibn Haritha, and Muad ibn Jabal. Ijlun Castle, built by Muslim Ayyubid leader Saladin in the 12th century AD during his wars with the Crusaders, is also a popular tourist attraction. Modern entertainment, recreation and souks in urban areas, mostly in Amman, also attract tourists. Recently, the nightlife in Amman, Aqaba, and Irbid has started to emerge, and the number of bars, discos, and nightclubs is on the rise. Alcohol is widely available in tourist restaurants, liquor stores and even some supermarkets. Valleys including Wadi Mujib and hiking trails in different parts of the country attract adventurers. Hiking is getting more and more popular among tourists and locals. Places such as Dana Biosphere Reserve and Petra offer numerous signposted hiking trails. Moreover, seaside recreation is present on the shores of Aqaba and the Dead Sea through several international resorts. Languages in Jordan. The official language is Modern Standard Arabic, a literary language taught in the schools. Most Jordanians natively speak one of the non-standard Arabic dialects known as Jordanian Arabic. Jordanian Sign Language is the language of the deaf community. English, though without official status, is widely spoken throughout the country and is the de facto language of commerce and banking, as well as a co-official status in the education sector. Almost all university-level classes are held in English and almost all public schools teach English along with Standard Arabic. Chechen, Circassian, Armenian, Tagalog, and Russian are popular among their communities. French is offered as an elective in many schools, mainly in the private sector. German is an increasingly popular language. It has been introduced at a larger scale since the establishment of the German Jordanian University in 2005. Education in Jordan. The Jordanian educational system comprises 2 years of preschool education, 10 years of compulsory basic education, and 2 years of secondary academic or vocational education, after which the students sit for the General Certificate of Secondary Education Exam (Tajihi) exams. Scholars may attend either private or public schools. According to the UNESCO, the literacy rate in 2015 was 98.01% and is considered to be the highest in the Middle East and the Arab world, and one of the highest in the world. UNESCO ranked Jordan's educational system 18th out of 94 nations for providing gender equality in education. Jordan has the highest number of researchers in research and development per million people among all the 57 countries that are members of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation (OIC). In Jordan, there are 8,060 researchers per million people, while the world average is 2,532 per million. Primary education is free in Jordan. Sport in Jordan. While both team and individual sports are widely played in Jordan, the kingdom has enjoyed its biggest international achievements in Taekwondo. The highlight came at the 2016 Rio Olympic Games when Ahmad Abu Ghosh won Jordan's first ever medal of any color at the Games by taking gold in the -67 kg weight. Medals have continued to be won at world and Asian level in the sport since to establish Taekwondo as the kingdom's favorite sport alongside football and basketball. Football is the most popular sport in Jordan. The national football team came within a playoff of reaching the 2014 World Cup in Brazil when they lost a two-legged playoff against Uruguay. They previously reached the quarter-finals of the Asian Cup in 2004 and 2011. Jordan has a strong policy for inclusive sport and invests heavily in encouraging girls and women to participate in all sports. The women's football team gaining reputation, and in March 2016 ranked 58th in the world. In 2016, Jordan hosted the FIFA U17 Women's World Cup, with 16 teams representing 6 continents. The tournament was held in 4 stadiums in the 3 Jordanian cities of Amman, Zarqa, and Irbid. It was the first women's sports tournament in the Middle East. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, click on like button. If you want to watch more videos like this, click on the subscription button below. It's free subscription.